This lecture today, and okay, good evening and welcome to the Black Nation Writers Conference 2013, brought to you in conjunction with Cultureword and Manchester Literature Festival. Yes, it's nice to see so many people. There's people at the back, yeah, it's like, whoa, wow. So like, yeah, it's obviously you don't like people there, yeah, you just kind of come just hang out on your own little row. That's nice, I like that. Normally people don't like to sit next to each other. People have got individual rows. I like that, that's nice. That's good. These people are more sociable, huddled together. I like this. This left hand side, my left, your right. I like that though, you're all getting together, you're probably swapping numbers, you'll probably meet again this time next year and have like, you know, reminisce about this night, you know, these people, I like that, you thought, hey, I'm going to get a good view, you know, I paid my money, I'm going to get a good view, so, well done to you, I like that. But yeah, so it's nice to be here. My name is Julian, I'm going to be your host for the evening, just going to kind of keep it rolling. Make some noise if you were here this morning for the morning session. Okay, I think that was everyone. Anyone here? Anyone who wasn't here just come for the evening session? Anyone just for the evening session? You guys at the front. Okay. So could you tell the people that were here this morning for the morning session? Could you just fill these in? Because I feel like you've missed out on an episode of the Black and Asian. Yeah, you feel. So could someone inform what happened this morning? What was the big topics? Anyone willing to just step forward, help these people out? Oh, hello, Ash.
Yeah, we had 4 sessions during the day. So we started off in the morning, we had a women's spotlight session, we had a writing for children session, and we had Desiree Reynolds' book launch.
Okay.
She is. We then had lunch, we then had an LGBT panel, and then a session on uprising, springs, and literature.
There you go, you see that what you missed? Yeah, you gutted. No, I can tell. So did you sell many books at your book launch? You've no idea. I like it. Proper writer there. Yeah, money. Yeah, that's a proper writer for you. So I am indeed, as well as compare. I'm a writer myself. Thank you. I co-wrote a book called How to Dump Your Girlfriend. But yeah, I wasn't invited to do any of the keynote speeches at the morning session. Unbelievable. If anyone...
Was it your girlfriend in front of you?
Yeah, probably, the ex. If anyone wants to ask me, because I am here, I can. I've got a lectern, so I look professional. Got glasses, so I look intelligent. Sort of. If you want to ask me a question about literature writing in 2013, this is your chance, because, you know, anyone want to ask a question about literature writing, being a Black and Asian writer myself, more on the black. I can't really speak for the Asian writing, but anyway, if anyone, any questions, I'm here now. This is.
What part of Asia are you from?
Part of the Asia that's South Manchester, yeah, mainland. Chiltern Asia, yeah. So I mean, I can speak. I often write about my time in that region of Asia from time to time. So yeah. Well, anyway, so we're here. We may as well, make a party of it, make a good night of it. We've got lots of fantastic entertainment. So hopefully, you as the audience, you can have a lot of energy. So maybe we could practice clapping, because that's like that. Yeah, well done. There may be some funny bits. I don't know what anyone's got. So practice laughing. Very good. There might be some serious bits. Practice looking serious. Oh, yeah, that's good. I'm liking that. Serious. That's some good serious stuff. And in the evening, at the end of the night, we're going to have a bit of we're going to move it from the theatre to outside, and we're going to have a bit of a dance. But I won't get you to do any dancing because we've got seats in the way. You all might. Health and safety would not allow me to get you to stand up and do any dancing. Because one of you may have an accident, and then you may sue the Contact Theatre, and you may close down, and I'd feel bad, but I wouldn't. But, so yeah, anyway, so that's kind of it. We're going to have a fantastic evening. We've got loads of different and varying acts, and fantastic people have travelled to be here. We're going to start this evening with a couple of open micers. Well, can I ask before we start, if you've got mobile phones, and it's not, beyond reason that you have, because it is 2013 and it's how a lot of people communicate. If you do have one, could you put it on silent even, and if you're feeling brave, turn it off completely. Because, let's face it, when you turn that phone back on, you won't have any missed calls. We've got to be honest, we've got to be honest. So, if you could do that, would be great, because we don't want it going off while people are doing some heartfelt poetry. So we're going to have spoken word and music this evening, so hopefully you're going to enjoy what's coming on. We've got 2 open micers that are going to do just a short spell. I was speaking to the first open micer. He's come from London, but don't hold that against him. He's a good guy. He's recently he finished, he went to university, and he got like a proper degree, I think it was business and law, he was telling me. And I was saying, are you going to go into something in that line? And he said, no, creativity's where it's at. I think that you may look back on this as a mistake, but we all have to follow our dreams. That's the thing, we've got to follow our dreams. So please make him feel welcome for Imhotep Awete.
Thank you for the warm introduction. I've never really performed with this. I feel like Cameron. Yeah? Okay, cool. Now I'm at ease. Yes, he said my name with a few different sounds. Just explain my name again. So my name is Imhotep. I'll break it down for you. I'm Hot EP, that's how you spell it. Just putting that out there, I discovered that recently. And Oyote is my last name. I haven't thought of anything cool to, I'll give it a Twitter afterwards. I'm a university graduate, as my man said, and I'm already thinking about why I did that. We are here today. I actually had the chance to listen to today's stuff and was inspired. And the piece I'm going to share with you, I think some writers might be able to relate, or some people looking for work might relate. Yeah, some people. Hopefully not too many, but if you've ever been there, this is for you. I call it, Give Me a Job, or Young, Black and Unemployed. If it's okay, I can share it with you? Yeah. Cool, all right. About to break. How many lockups can a man take? My spirit ache. Because I've been trying to find work legitimately, but no one's to employ me. They'd rather boy me. Sorry, no vacancies. So should I do Tories? Find work in the informal economy. They say where I want to be, and they're hiring less people who look like me. If I sell drugs in the street, economically, I get a little salvation, but short-lived, because it leads to my incarceration, plus supplying my brother death, making him a patient. It's a catch-22 situation. Far from glam, how come I ain't got jack? I'd rather have stolen goods than no goods. Reality for the poor, who are trapped. They say blacks are born to steal, but there's no crime in my family, just my environment. I blame on consumer culture. It's taking over the globe. Everyone wants the latest clothes, the latest mold, even though it could be making our minds erode. Becoming more radioactive by the earlobe. I want a job, give me a job, give me a job. A woman wants a man who can provide, not just dialogue. B.I.G. said, more money, more problems. I'd rather have more money problems than no money problems. Without a doubt, you know, little I got, I need a job not just for me, because I got relatives overseas who need a PE. I was the only black boy in my chem class. Most of my friends are doing PE, music, resits and performing arts, harp. In the West, a lot of black boys are dying. but few going into the medicine field. I guess it just doesn't appeal as much as sports and arts. Really know the chances, the stakes, the rat race for that cheese. I go to bed with a hunger to achieve. My brothers look at me like, if I go to school, is this what I can be? I feel my father's pain. If I can't get a job, I create one. I'll put my struggle in context. All across the world, people struggling. I ain't the only one. If I can't get a job, I'll create one. As long as I have breath, I'm blessed. My effort is my self-respect. Thank you very much for letting me share that with you.
Give it up one more time for your first act of the evening. I'm hot. Names are names, you know. I don't worry about names, you just look at, faces. That's why I remember faces. I remember you all. Just getting faces. So I've started, talking of getting a job, I've started volunteering at a place where people come with long-term unemployed, so that's like after a year. So I'm started helping out there. And I was speaking to someone at my other work, my real work, and this isn't my real work. I'm just sort of helping out here. I don't get paid enough for this to be my real work. I work in a school, but that's not important. My colleague at work said, there's some people in this country who don't want to work. And I thought, yeah, that's like 98% of the workforce. You know what I mean? That's like most people go, that's not a revelation, that's just fact. Most people, whether they are in work or not in work, most people don't want to work. So I thought I'd follow the theme of the last play. So we've got one more open mic. Please make him feel welcome. You saw him earlier, he was drumming my introduction. So please put your hands together for Mark Mace Smith.
Hello.
Hello.
At the moment in the courts in this country, there's a trial for the death of Mark Duggan, inquest into the death of Mark Duggan. And one of the people who is testifying is an anonymous cop. He's down as a V53. And I'm going to do a poem called Fuck You, Anonymous Cop, Fuck You. Because I don't think it's fair in being anonymous. And if I still say, fuck you, anonymous cop, you can't really get in trouble because it's anonymous. I'm also starting a band, and the band is called OK a Kazoo. That has nothing to do with the poem. We come in peace, shoot to kill, shoot to kill, shoot to kill. We come in peace, shoot to kill, shoot to kill. Captain, it's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it, not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. Oh, it's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim? Dead, Jim. It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead. British streets, bearing a strange fruit. Blood on the streets, no justice, no truth. Black body dying on the lane ferry. Strange fruit assassinated on a Tottenham street. Trigger happy cops saw a gun, no doubt, with his bulging eyes and his twisted mouth. Scent of cordite, bits up, clean and fresh. And the sudden death of once living, breathing, loving flesh. Here is the truth for the IPCC to block, for the policemen to gather and their lies to concoct, for the law to mock, for the streets to erupt. Here, once again, is a strange and bitter crop. Fuck you, anonymous cop. Fuck you. Thank you.
Smith, people, give it one more time. Give it up for the kazoo as well. Not enough poetry ends with a kazoo, I think if we're going to take something from the Black and Asian Writers Conference of 2013, I think that should be it. More kazoo in poetry. Well, I'm going to start a campaign on Twitter. That's the only place you can get stuff done, really, is Twitter. People on Twitter? You're not? Don't matter. You're not missing out on much. You've got 140 characters, and you know, it wastes a lot of time, to be honest. The internet. You've got Facebook. You've got Facebook. You're on Facebook. Yeah. You don't need both. You know what I mean. You've got to live a bit. So that was great. We've seen two open micers, and they've been kind enough to come on and sort of open the show, and brilliantly they have. We've got what we're going to do now. We're going to have a few acts in the first half, and we're going to do a slightly extended set, and they include some fantastic acts. The first group of people belong to Young Identity, and there's three of them are going to perform, and no need to click. Really, seriously. I know it's cool. I know we're in the Contact, and it's all about being cool and clicking. Because I used to belong to the Contact Theatre. I was one of the first young writers in residence here, and but then I got too old, and because I wasn't cool in the first place. Once you're old and not cool, they don't invite you back to this place. I'm here. I'm worrying that someone at some point is going to like remove me from here. But you know. These guys are brilliant, these guys, Young Identity. They have shared the stage with Jean Binter Breeze. Bit of applause. Linton Kwesi Johnson. Saul Williams. And Lem Sissay. Cheer for Lem, that's interesting. They are fated, is that the right word, fated? Yeah. Basically, these guys are the future of spoken word. Now, you might have come out today thinking you're going to see the present. This is how we roll at the Black and Asian Writers Conference. You're going to see the future. The future. At this point, you can't even comprehend what the future looks like. So please put your hands together, not only for Young Identity, but for the future, Young Identity!
Benevolent sexism, it's fine. Ladies first and all that stuff. Hello!
Hello.
I'm called Keisha, and I'm going to do 2 poems. Yeah, okay. Geoffrey?
Go on,
Okay. Alright. I feel very fancy. It's the first time I've performed with my little iPad thingy. Feels really cool. You're wondering now what to do. Now you know that this is the end. You're wondering how you will pay for the way that you misbehaved. Hair sheen is no defence for all this smoke. My throat aches to join the swallowed chorus. Heels are threatening to break clean off every time I glance at him, dancing with her. It pummels my chest like a domino slap. Tomorrow is church, but I'll be here next week. The blue light is on in this shebeen, where the politics toast rhythm, the filth and the love that our neighbours pale away. We're dipping our troubles into the pooling bass, and in this light everything is glistening like gold teeth. Yes, I'll be back next week. As they knock us down outside, occupy our concrete, conserve our culture, we two-step in Raymond's basement, clandestine spirituality in full possession of the off, key and the horn. Someone said there's a raid coming our way, but I'll be back next week. Inelegant feet were skanking along Princess Street today. Our men jerked out of a political shuffle into jungle thrusts. A torrent of blue, black, brown, red. I saw them gnashing at the time and shredding it to pieces. Ankles are swollen, tears are livid, rifts have become internal. There is no way we will return to a nocturnal, humble shuffle, but I'll still be back next week. Probably should have introduced that. That was called Weekly Shebeen, and it was about the riots that happened in Manchester in the 80s. Obviously, I wasn't there. I don't know how old I look, but I'm 24. I had to do research. It was a project that we did, and it was really cool to just find out about how the times were when there weren't clubs for black people and there wasn't that much integration. So there was a lot of things called shebeens and blues nights where people just used their basements, and then they were raided, and it was very political. But yeah, that should have been said. Imagine I said that before the poem. Okay, second poem. This is called Foreboding, and I thought it was quite relevant because it's about my mum, and in Caribbean culture, when you dream fish, it's believed that a child is going to come into the family. So I wrote this poem about that. She said she dreamt fish, live fish. Stood in the market eyeing up the snapper, bangameri and trout on one side, the aouri, patois and hassa on the other. My sister and I exchanged glances like sisters do. To an outsider, this is mundane talk, morning talk, between opening the fridge aimlessly and then grabbing the milk. Every child in this family has been preempted by my mum's otherworldly trips to the fish market. Last time, Auntie called to share the good news. If it comes from someone else, it's good news. And as I sit and wait for the phone to ring and count for the days to my period, my sister asks what it means if you dream dead fish. What if you dream that you scaled it, chopped its head off, and fried it in oil? Okay, I'll finish with a really short one, and then I'll go and Ruth can come on. This piece is called Jazz. Dream of a land that my soul is from. I hear a hand stroke on a drum. The stars glanced down and professed us to be jazz, timeless rule breakers of classics. As we paralleled in octavic curves, the people in the top row thought we were covering Miles Davis, cool and collected. But we walk in A minors and we cry C sharps, major discords and broken G strings, sitting in a cross-hatched room wondering where the cinnamon runs to. He comes to me with his shadow tossed over his shoulder and lends me his story in pieces. The pieces of this man would make Gil Scott Heron proud, but the pieces of this man haven't won me over. I hear simplistic drones run over by my fingers tapping bossa nova tempos, looking to the stars like Melody Gardot, wishing that they were mine. Thanks.
Hello guys. Usually I perform, but tonight I'm reading, so which means it's some relatively new material, some stuff that I felt would be nice to give some airplay to. So I'm going to read a poem for you guys, and I'm also going to read a short story that I've written, which is hopefully going to develop into a longer piece, maybe a novella or something like that. So the first piece is called Beat Up Like Hindsight. About a month ago, after 3 years living with us, my nana went into a residential home. She suffers with Alzheimer's, and it's basically about the changing dynamic of our relationship as a result of the condition. My name is becoming elusive, and digging makes her tired, so she alternates between love, sweetheart, and mate, but I want to be a grandson again. I want to lose a comb in the sea of her beat up black hair, share a lemon meringue for dinner, and go to Sainsbury's and come back with rubbish, yes, our own yellow labelled rubbish. I want to thank her for letting us be stupid, for making my teddy bear the sharpest tailored felt suit in history, and introducing us to Rock Shandy, I want to tell her in hindsight that her reggae collection is just as good as my UK garage collection. And that I finally understand the dreadlocks Jesus picture on her wall. We are made in his image. I want to tell her that I remember the day that her brother died. And that I love her even more because she never cried in front of us. I want her to know that she was a playground legend. Miss Little never gave myself or my brother any stick after her visit. I even heard she installed a panic alarm. And I want to be a grandson again. I want her to know that I know the difference between the West Indies and the West Midlands. And that the world doesn't end when Manchester United lose. I want to tell her that her willingness to forgive makes her a stepping stone and not a doormat. And I want to be a grandson again. For her to comprehend that Nanarita isn't a greeting, rather the heart of a grown man, celebrating the sum of who she is, and knowing that he has a lot more growing to do. My name is becoming elusive and digging makes her tired, so she alternates between son, sweetheart and mate. But that means that I'm still someone to her. Okay, so I'm going to jump straight into the short story. It's written in the voice of a girl called Marie. Marie is 40 odd, but she's reflecting on herself as a 6-year-old. Her brother's called Tom and she had a sister called Elizabeth. Tom always beat me. Maybe I was too young to realise what cheating was, but even when I shot him first, it was always me who had to die. My little plastic gun was green and had a red nozzle, and it made robot sounds. The sticker said it was real SFX. Mother would throw up on most mornings, sometimes at night too, but I'd never seen her sick look so yellow before. It had noodles in it, and these weird white and red lumps. I didn't ask why. I wanted to. And I would have asked who had broken the window that Lennon was fixing. But good children don't ask questions. Most days were the same, but rainy days were the worst. Mother would climb out of her bed and stand by the window, following the raindrops that pettered down the window pane with her little finger. Mother and Lennon wouldn't leave their room until the afternoon, and when they did, they never wanted to play with us. Elizabeth's red shoes were beautiful and shiny. They had a white silk ribbon running over the top of them and a scratch at the front. Even the scratch was pretty. She had just learned to walk. She would toddle around the room with her little black doll. They had dreadlocks and wore a black, green, yellow and red dress. I wasn't like the other girls. I didn't enjoy pretend tea parties with teddies and I had no time for skipping, plats or hopscotch. The best thing ever was climbing trees. Climbing trees and Chinese burns, making mud pies and fixing bikes. Tom said that Elizabeth went away because she had nobody to play with. He said I was meant to play with Elizabeth. Sad little girls are taken away, he said. I told him he was wrong. I told him he was wrong, but at night I would sit in Elizabeth's room with her black doll and plastic teacups and ask her if she wanted to play with me. Sometimes I waited all night, but she never came. And good children don't ask questions. Thank you. The last one of the next thing is going to be Nicole, so let's welcome Nicole to the stage.
Hello everyone. Hi. So this piece that I'm going to perform tonight is part of a bigger piece. I'm in a collective called Inner Voice, and some of the guys that you've just seen there in Inner Voice as well as Young Identity. And my partner, he's Muslim, so this is our little story, and it's called Culture Clashes. Like a messenger, prophesizing about the divine to the non-believers. Hungry bellies lying under zinc roofs collecting tears and test tubes. Like angel wings wrapped with culture, distorted by satellite receivers. West Indian girl meets Eastern boy, communities inhabit fears in their best room. Sajda prayers merge with Holy Ghost-filled aisles. Our history once separated us by missiles. Battleships carry burdens and now we walk on the same western tiles. Talk of our heritage and homeland where sand and song was a part of our mother tongue.
we fiend logic lost with adrenaline rush, waiting for the single man to let us in so we can jump the mountain. Like a spiritual choreographer preparing us for the war dance, comparing our men to our mean, getting ready to break this religious trance. West Indian girl and Eastern boy embracing Western ways. Thank you. So that was the event tonight. We run workshops here every Tuesday at 7, so feel free to come along. And thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.